And I'm like, bro, this is like 20 goals. Like, what the hell am I doing? I had a resolution overload. And I think that's the problem a lot of times. You write down a list of everything you want to accomplish in a year, and you even get really detailed and go month by month of what you're trying to do. And I think if you're going to make resolutions, it should be a fairly short list. What's up, Evolvers? Welcome to another episode of Evolving with Edgar. I am your host, Edgar Martin Jr. And welcome back, man. Welcome to episode 5. It's crazy. We already at 5 episodes. Can't wait till we get to 10 and we start reaching those milestone type of episodes. I think hopefully by episode 10, I think I'm going to have something, special for you guys as far as like what the episode may consist of, and just like the quality of what I'm giving you guys. And just to celebrate 10 episodes, the average podcast usually doesn't make it past 7. So the fact that I'm already at 5 episodes with this, and the feedback has just continued to grow and grow, and the subscribers list is growing, listeners are growing. So I'm really thankful for all of you who've been listening to me up to this point, and I hope you continue to listen. So let's go ahead and get into today's topic. So I wanted to talk about resolutions, and the reason why is because I don't know if you guys have noticed, but we're already all the way through with March, damn near. Like, Easter is in 2 weeks now, I think. And first off, Easter in March is crazy. I never remember Easter being in March. It's always been April to me, but for some reason it can happen in March too. So that was kind of weird to learn recently. But yeah, man, we're almost at the end of the first quarter of the year. First 3 months have damn near flown by at this point. We thought it was gonna be a pretty slow 2024 because how long January took, but here we are. We almost in April. And the reason why I wanted to talk about resolutions is because this is around that time that people start either fading away from the resolutions they made at the beginning of the year, or they're just getting back into it because they fell off like a month ago. And I think I'm one of those people who are starting to get back into the groove of their resolutions. And I didn't even have a resolution this year, but I'll get to that in a second. But I'm definitely one of those people that it's hard for me to stay consistent with a resolution a lot of times, especially if I have multiple. And this year, I didn't have one, but I did have a word for the year. And my word for the year is discipline. And I'm going to be honest, I have not stuck to that word that much this year so far. We still have, a whole 9 months left basically for the year. I got plenty of time to get back on track. I actually am getting back on track with some of my resolutions, as far as like in my head and stuff, as far as like goals and all of that. But discipline is my word of the year, just because I'm trying to make sure I get a lot of stuff accomplished this year. Like I told you guys a couple episodes ago, I graduate at the end of this year. I get married at the end of this year. I'm doing this podcast and like this entire platform of Evolving with Edgar for you all. So all of these things are going to take a lot of discipline. So that's why I really felt like it was important for me to have a word of the year, because I'm going to be honest, I suck with resolutions, and I've tried it all. I've tried just having 2 or 3 resolutions and they be like really big goals. I've tried having a bunch of small resolutions. I've even tried having no resolutions. I did that a few times actually, of, you know what, I'm not going to make no resolutions because I don't want to disappoint myself and this, that, and the third. And I just feel like I think I still lean towards not really having resolutions, but having key words that I want to emphasize throughout the year, which is why this year was the first time I ever really did that with picking the word discipline. And I really want to hold true to that, because I think I made a mistake last year of setting too many goals for myself. Like, in the physical category, I had like 6 goals. In the mental and spiritual category, I had like 5. In relationship, I had like 5 or 6 goals. I'm like, I looked at the list of all of this stuff, and I'm like, bro, this is like 20 goals. Like, what the hell am I doing? I had a resolution overload. And I think that's the problem a lot of times. You write down a list of everything you want to accomplish in a year, and you even get really detailed and go month by month of what you're trying to do. And I think if you're going to make resolutions, it should be a fairly short list. Don't try to overload yourself like I did last year, and just really have 2 or 3 things that you know for sure are big achievements that you're trying to cross off your list. If you do resolutions, that will be my piece of advice. But I'm really just going to go with a word of the year for this year. Now, I do still have goals. Like, I have this stack of books over here. 2 of them I bought myself. My fiance bought the other 2 from, I think it's 3 actually. The other 2 or 3 she bought for me. And I had a goal last year of reading at least 2 of those books. Y'all, I touched about like 5 pages. I touched about like 5 pages in 2 of the books that I chose and never went back. And they're books that I actually do want to read. It's not like they're books that I have no interest in reading. But I think my problem is I was never really much of a reader in general. So I think having the goal of reading 2 whole books before the end of the year, that still might have been a bit much for me. And I think that's the problem. I think I just had it in my mind of like, it's just 2 books. You got a whole year to read 2 books. You should be able to. But it's kind of like the dry January thing. And this is why I say that. I think dry January doesn't really make sense to me for most people because you don't really start the year off sober. Like, think about it. When the clock strikes 12 for the new year, most of us are drinking. You're going into the new year drinking, so you're kind of not really starting a dry January. Maybe I'm just a real stickler with that. I don't know. I feel like if I, like, let's say for April, I say I'm doing a dry April. From April 1st to the end of April, I'm not going to drink. But I don't even do that to myself. What I do is, because I know I'm not a heavy drinker, but I drink enough to where I can admit if I was to just tell myself to stop cold turkey, like, it would kind of be a challenge because of just how social I am when we go out and we drink and stuff like that. Like, and you got to factor in, frozen liquor beverages. You got to count, what are those things called? Like seltzer drinks and all that. You got to factor in all of that. Like, all of that is alcohol. So when you say you're doing a dry month, if you're somebody who drinks heavily, you can't hold yourself to this expectation of you're just going to wake up and you're not going to drink at all. And you're used to drinking a lot, or at least very often, So I think it's the same thing with me when it comes to reading these books. I can't just go from not reading at all most of the time when it comes to like actual books and novels. I can't go from not reading at all to I'm going to read 2 whole books by the end of the year. And it's possible. I'm not saying this to say I can't do it, but what I'm saying is maybe I should have a goal of, read 1 whole book for the year. And if you read more, great. Or break it down to where you don't feel like you have this entire like big thing that you have to do, to where maybe I could have just told myself, read 2 chapters a month or something like that. And hell, if a book has 12 chapters, if you read 2 chapters a month, you're done. Like, you're done by the end of the year, and that's your goal, So I think I just should have done better with, planning stuff like that. And when it comes to physical, I definitely got to get back in shape, y'all. Like, I have to. Like, it's March, and I told myself in December, like November, December, by spring/summer, my body is going to be back right. Well, here we are. It's March, and I still got this gut. I'm still not in shape for real. And let me tell y'all a funny story. So this past weekend was my best friend's birthday. My best friend Desire, her birthday was this past weekend, and we went to the beach. We were on a boat and all this other stuff. It was really fun. It was great. But I was just like, man, I am out of shape. Like, I just didn't look, and I didn't feel like I looked how I'm used to looking. And we went to the beach, and we were playing volleyball, we were playing football, and these two guys come, like one's 22, one's 15. I'm 26 for those of you who don't know. And I'm thinking, it's only a 4-year age gap. He ain't finna be out here like going too crazy on me or whatever. My knees were aching. My back was hurting. I am out of shape. That 22-year-old had me looking like I was 40 out there. Like, it was bad. Like, it was bad to where when I got home and got in the shower, I almost cried because of how good the hot water felt on my bones. So I have to be sure to hold myself true to the word discipline this year and really get myself out of the rut of just going day to day of just work, schoolwork, come home. Like, try to really find a way to plan working out into a real schedule for myself. And I've gotten better with it. I have at least like 2 days out of the week that I dedicate to like at least 30, 45 minutes worth of exercise. But I'm at a point now where I do have time to where if I really sit down and schedule this, I can have about 3 to 4 days that I know for sure I'm exercising. And even more than 30, 45 minutes, honestly, with some of these days. So I just got to be sure to hold myself accountable when it comes to that. And I want you guys to be aware of that too, and just really think, damn, like, it is March and I told myself I was going to do this, or I was going to have this accomplished by this time of the year. Those things still can happen. I'm telling you to not overload yourself, but still hold yourself accountable to the goals and the resolutions that you're setting for yourself, because the year's not over. We're not even halfway through it. So it's a bit of a rush because, yes, the first quarter is ended, but you still have time. So I want to make sure everyone realizes that and understand that whether you got 20 goals, no goals, or just a discipline word, have something in mind that you do want to accomplish for the year. I would heavily advise to not do I have no goals for the year, because you're kind of living with the mindset of, I'm going to let myself just think nothing good is going to happen. That way, when nothing good happens, I'm not disappointed. I've been there before, thought like that plenty of times. It doesn't make you feel any better. The pain is still going to be just as bad as if you did set goals and you got disappointed. So just be mindful of that and understand that you can't let the negativity cloud your mind that much to where you don't even expect positivity. Because if you live in a mind space like that, nothing positive will ever happen. And I think that's what I'm really trying to say with this. And as funny as it is, like with some of my goals, like I said, I got to get back in shape. I'm 26, but I feel like I'm 30 something, almost 40. I got to get back into reading these books. Like, I just have to really be true to what I said, and I think a lot of us, can really take advice from that. So when it comes to making sure you accomplish the words you have for the year or the few goals that you have set for yourself, be sure to plan. Like, and I'm talking to myself with this. Like, I'm really giving myself advice, and I'm hoping y'all just take the advice that I'm giving to myself. But really plan stuff out, and down to when you eat, like plan stuff down to that, the time that you're going to spend eating, the time that you're going to spend, just resting, the time that you're going to spend doing homework if you're still in school, the time that, outside of work that you're going to dedicate to whatever, side business or hustle or whatever you got going on. Find the time to really sit and plan that stuff out, activity by activity, and all of that. And I feel like you'll have a better sense of the week of how to go for each week, to where it'll be a lot simpler for you. And if you have a clear vision of what each week looks like, it'll make each month look better, which in total will make the year seem a lot better when it comes to the end, So I think that's just a key point and how to, really get your resolutions back on track if you've fallen off like I have. There's a cool saying in the tech cafe here in my apartment, because at each door there's like a quote or whatever. But in the conference meeting area of the tech cafe, there's a quote by the door that says, "Dreams don't work unless you do." And I think that's such a huge statement because it's very true. You could be talented, you could be skilled, you can want to do something all day. You could dream to do something all day, but unless you actually put the work in, it's not going to happen. And if you stop, it's not going to keep going on its own. So you have to be sure to continue to put the work in, finish the year out strong. Like I said, we're only about to be in month 4? We're about to be in April soon. So just understand that you have time. Yes, it's going by fast, but you still have time. It's not a big rush, and don't overload yourself with goals. If you feel like it's going to be hard to get 10 things accomplished, narrow it down to 5. If you feel like 5 is hard, narrow it down to 3. Find your number and find your goals that you feel. Don't pick nothing super easy. Now, if it's something you can just do, then don't even bother writing that down. But write stuff down that you feel will be a challenge. And they don't have to be the hardest things in the world, but something that I feel like I can do this, but I feel like it'll be a challenge for me as well. Write that stuff down. And that'll be those will be the goals that you'll be so proud of yourself at the end of the year, because you're going to be like, damn, I really did that. I fell off a little bit here, or I went in a slump here, and you'll look back on it and you'll be like, damn, I really stuck to it and I finished it. So that's just what I wanted to talk to you guys about today. I just noticed that we're getting to that point of the year where people really do start falling off with their resolutions, and some of us either get back on it and finish the year out strong, or we just say, screw it, I'll start again next year. Because I know a lot of people, when it comes to the gym, January is jam packed. Like every gym is full. Everybody's putting on a story that they in the gym working out, and then now it's like, hey, we really see who in there for real now. Like a lot of memberships then ended, a lot of fitness stories then slowed down and stuff. They may still be drinking their smoothies and all that, but the gym fits, you don't see a lot of them no more. So this is that time, and this is that wake up call for you to, figure out, go over, review your goals again, review your resolution or your word of the year, and plan out how you can still achieve it throughout the rest of 2024. So I hope this was helpful for you guys. Thanks for tuning in. This was a great episode. I think that's it. I got another episode that I'm gonna get ready to record for you guys, so hopefully I'll have 2 episodes out for you within the next few days. And remember, to evolve is to grow, and I can't wait to see what phase you go into next. See you next time.